Endless Sports.
Oh man, thank you. First off, thank you, Pep, for having me. And it's going great. It's going great. Live here full time in Canada with my family, my wife and my son. And yeah, man, it's kind of cool up here. Cold, no, colder than normal than what we're used to in the Inland Empire in Southern California. But yeah, we call Canada home, and it's preparing for the transition to Hamilton. So yeah, we're just getting ready for all of that. It's been great. It's really been great just because. Yeah, growing up, Pomona, California, Inland Empire, you don't hear of the CFL, right? Your dream is to play in the NFL. It's the NFL or bust mentality. And growing up for me, that's what it was. And yeah, I ended up playing in the NFL for about a year and a half, and then finding myself not getting any more calls. So then my agent said, "Hey, you ever heard of the CFL?" I was just like, "No, what is it?" It's a Canadian football league. I think that's the next best thing we got to do. And I was just like, all right, bet. Ended up going up there, and yeah, it's a little different, but at the end of the day, it's still football, man. And the biggest thing for the CFL, I say all the time, is it's rejuvenated my love for the game again. It's the closest thing to high school sports when you're just playing for the love of the game. Just because you're a professional football player, but you're not getting $1 million that you thought you were going to be getting when you were a young kid. So coming here with the guys that are in the locker room, some guys are, minimum guys, some guys are the upper scale contracts, but all said and done, we're all playing for the love of the game, because I know other guys, they could not be playing this game and be making lots of more money elsewhere, but they choose to play this game, the CFL game, and it's for the love of the game and for the relationships we make. So that's the biggest thing that the CFL and that I'm most grateful of, being up here north of the border.
Now, Kenny, my first exposure to the CFL was way back in the day. I'm a little bit older than you. I got the gray hairs to show it. Back in the day, I went to college. I went to school with Ricky Ray. And he was like CFL legend, right, for the Edmonton Eskimos, and multiple Grey Cup winner. So I'm like, dude, he went up there and became a superstar and made a lot of money and really enjoyed playing football again. You're a multi-Grey Cup champion. You've got a great thing going up there. Do you have thoughts of maybe trying to get back into the NFL, or are things just going so well you're like, man, I'm living the dream already? What,
Oh yeah, well, fortunately for me, I'm going to be 31 this season, and the NFL is probably not going to be calling for a 31-year-old. If they do call, I probably will answer that call and give it one last chance, just because I am an ultimate competitor. Like, I love competing at the highest level, and the NFL is the highest level. But for me currently, I'm more than okay with finishing my career up here. CFL's been great to me. I've made great money up here. And when it comes to receivers and a CFL player. So, man, I'm more than fortunate. I'm more than thankful, grateful. Just to continue. I believe I got 9 more years up here. So, yeah, I'm just gonna more than likely be sticking it up here. But man, I always go out and compete and at the highest level. So hopefully one day the NFL does come calling again, and if it doesn't, it's all right.
All right, Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were with Winnipeg, correct? And now you signed with Hamilton. So what was it about the Tiger Cats? Were you looking for a move? Did they just make you an offer you couldn't refuse? What was it about Hamilton?
It was a couple of things about Hamilton. One, it was the people first. I believe, we're in the business of football, but at the end of the day, we're in the business of people. So the people were genuine, very respectful, and I just sensed that from them from the jump. And when I got to actually visit Hamilton, I was just like, the decision that I made was a good one, just because the facilities are a lot better than a lot of the facilities in the CFL. The fans, they always come out. When I was in Edmonton, Yeah, they have the biggest stadium in the CFL in Canada actually. So at 65,000, it's not a lot, but it's big.
Yeah.
It was never a packed house. So when it comes to playing, you want to play in front of fans. You're a professional. You feed off of that energy. I know for me, at least I do. And I knew going somewhere, I wanted that. Their offense was explosive last year. Has been for the past 2 years under the head coach Scott Milanovic. And when I say explosive, the quarterback threw for Ricky Ray numbers, 5,400 yards. Was the runner up to the MOP, most outstanding player of the league, and they got a great core bunch there. So it was a number of those things that drew me to Hamilton. Obviously, the contract was what it was, but I'm a guy that I never tell my agent, like, hey, I'm looking for this much, I just do what I do on the field. My agent sees what he could be able to get me, and I let him, use his professional opinion to see what that number is, and he's been doing a great job. I've, been doing a pretty good job for him to be able to go get that. So, yeah, all those things made me want to go out there to Hamilton.
All right, Kenny, at the end of the day, football is football, but there are some rules differences, right, up in the Canadian Football League. Did you have any adjustments as a receiver? I mean, the field goal post, was there any, the size of the field, was there anything that you had to do to kind of adjust your game just a little bit to kind of fit in up there?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm a go getter. I'm a talented receiver. I love when the ball's in the air because it's an opportunity for me to make a play. But moving over here to the CFL, it wasn't that big of a difference. Just because to me, like I said earlier, football is football. You just have to understand the little differences that the game has. And when you understand that, it's a couple of things that go into that. You have to buy in because a lot of guys, including myself, when you come up here, it's just like, CFL football. What is a CFL? Like, I was just in the NFL, right? And so you have to buy in, but then also you got to be coachable because there are those little things like 12 men on the field, the goalpost being at the front of the end zone even being 20 yards, the field being 65 yards wide. And I believe it is 105, 10 yards long. One of those two. But when you incorporate all these things into just the play, the play of the game yourself, it's the same thing. Just, some receivers have to motion before, but as soon as you snap the ball, you have to line of scrimmage with what is a cheat code to me with added momentum moving to the line of scrimmage. It's just a wide receiver's dream. How could a DB press you? There's so many different things that if you're actually coachable into learning, it'll make the game a lot more easier up here for you, and it's fun. So yeah, it's a little differences, but at the end of the day, it's football. You got to make the guy miss. You got to go score a touchdown. The ball is getting thrown to you, right? You're running a route. It's football, but there's a learning curve coming in to here, which might be a little hard for some guys to grasp. But the biggest thing is you just got to buy into the CFL game, and when you do, it will pay you.
So, Kenny, obviously football is king here in the United States, right? High school's big everywhere. College, obviously big. The NFL. I mean, up there, when you're walking the streets of Hamilton or anywhere up there, you're just buying groceries. So people are like, hey, man, that's Kenny Lawler, the top receiver in the CFL. Like, do you get that up there? Do they love football?
They love football. They love football in their football communities. Hamilton's a great football community. Winnipeg has been a good good understatement, great football community. Edmonton, where I was, They're just waiting for the team to be good. It's been proven to be a great community for football, but the team has just been on a down turn. So, and then I was in BC for a little bit, and obviously BC being a bigger city, they have a lot of things going, so it's not as much. But the ownership and the players really have been doing a great job of getting the fans back into those seats. But man, when I'm in the grocery store, we live here currently still in Winnipeg, and it's just like, Kenny, hey, can I get a picture? And I love it. I love it. I give all the fans the time to sit there, have sometimes a 2-minute conversation. I can find myself in the store having a 30-minute conversation, and my wife's like, "Come on, like you've been here so long, like I've already checked out, right?" And it's great. It's great. The fans here are great. CFL has some of the greatest fans, and I think where I'm going is going to be similar. Definitely a bigger area, the Greater Toronto area. It's about 45 minutes away from Toronto, and a lot of people there. But Hamilton is a great football community. Their games when I'm there is always packed. I've been receiving a lot of love from the community, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing there. And I'm ready. I can't wait to get there.
All right, Kenny, last question. If I heard you correctly earlier in the interview, you said maybe you play like another 8-9 years or whatever up there in the CFL. Your dad, obviously a longtime football coach here in the IE as well, college, high school. Whenever you're done, whether it's next year or 10 years from now, I mean, do you see yourself, coaching somewhere? I mean, what are you going to do post-football as a player at least?
Post-football, I definitely see myself as a coach. My dad, like you said, long time coach. He dedicated a lot of his time to those coaching hours, right? And me having a family, wife, son, I couldn't do that, right? I couldn't dedicate myself to the amount of hours that he was away. It's a responsibility, but I have a responsibility here too at home. So what I plan to do actually is still consider myself a coach, stay as close to the game as possible. But I've actually started a business up here, Kenny Lawler Inner Circle Incorporated, and what I do is I go into the community and I try to help develop the young athletes and the young talent here, not just only on the football field, but within life, mentor these kids, do a lot of public speaking, currently writing a book, and also, tons of things, a lot of things on the philanthropist side of work. And that's really where my heart is. And obviously my heart's with football. So I want to kind of stay in that lane, stay in that realm. I believe we went to school and I didn't graduate. I left early, but I believe I have a PhD in football, wide receiver to be specific. And I have a lot of things to be able to tell kids, not only, like I said, not only on the football field, but off. That's one of my biggest passions. So I'm going 6 months out of the year and working on that, working with kids, volunteering my time in different organizations to network and make different relations in the community. And obviously, working with the kids. Right now, I volunteer my time for a local 7-on-7 team. Here in Winnipeg, we go to the States to take the kids to 7-on-7 tournaments to get them that extra boost that they need to be able to see. Not just because these kids are the best in Winnipeg, but when you're the best, the competition level gets capped out, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to go and experience a different culture in the United States where football, like you said, is king. And then from there, these kids get the exposure they get the competition that they need to be able to succeed in football. And that's what I want to be able to create with Kenny Lawler Inner Circle, just where kids are getting opportunities, are having all the resources that they could be able to have in football up here in Canada. Because when I look at these kids, I see the same kid like I was in their shoes when I was their age. And if it wasn't for all the resources that I've had in my life when it came to teachers, coaches, mentors, and some of the resources that I had, I know I wouldn't have made it. So to be able to be in the position that I'm in right now, I just think it's my calling to be able to recreate that for any and every kid that needs it. So that's going to be my calling. After football, but we're currently starting it right now.
That's awesome, man. So you got your foot in both worlds right now, playing football, but also setting up the future and helping the future, right? Helping a lot of kids maybe achieve their dreams and their goals. Well, Kenny, man, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congrats on the new contract. We'll be watching you up there with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Very exciting. And best of luck this upcoming season.
Oh, man, thank you, Pep. It was a pleasure being here. Can't wait to do it again. I love that you're in the Inland Empire, just, showing love to all the sports. So thank you. Thank you for having me, brother.
You got it. That's Kenny Lawler here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports.